Hey guys, so I know that I just came back from my break and I kind of wanted to just talk about my birth story. This was just something that is like really unique and I thought I'd share with you guys, kind of get you guys updated on why like I took that break, and it's just a really unique story that I wanted to share with you guys. In my last pregnancy video, I kind of just announced that my water broke and it was early. When my water broke, I was only 28 weeks and some days, which is really early. Full term is 40 weeks, so yeah, it was kind of scary. I didn't even know that my water broke. I didn't think it was my water because obviously I thought it was too early. There that they told me it was like amniotic fluid and that my water had broke early. So first thing the doctor did was right away go and get like the ultrasound machine to just see where baby was positioned, as well as listening for the heartbeat, which was kind of like the longest 2-3 minutes of my life, was kind of just waiting for them to find that heartbeat. But she had a strong heartbeat and they said that her head was positioned down. But from where I live, the hospital that I needed to go to, where they do have the neonatal intensive care unit, is on another island, so I actually had to be medevaced on the small plane to another island. It was pretty crazy. They had me strapped down and they had my stomach on a heart monitor just to make sure baby was okay the whole time, the whole trip. I was pretty much strapped down and just carried on a gurney, like to an ambulance, to the plane, to another ambulance, to the next hospital. So I was assigned to bed rest as long as I could, just to make sure I'm not losing any more fluid. And yeah, that was the whole thing that happened like that one day. And so I was checked into the hospital. They put me in the room where you actually give birth, but then nothing was really happening with contractions or anything, and everything was steady with baby's heartbeat. So they put me in a regular room and I was there for about a week, just like on bed rest. They didn't really want me walking around. When I did start having contractions, it felt like Braxton Hicks, like my stomach would just get really hard, and then they would say it's just the Braxton Hicks contractions, and then it kept coming every like, I don't know, like 7 minutes, and I was like, uh-oh, I think this is different, and it was starting to hurt. So it kind of escalated, and then they put me into the delivery room, where they had told me that because baby would still be born at 30 weeks, that there was just like more risk of things happening. So I had to take a special medicine that they had to push through IV, and that was I think it was magnesium. I think it was a magnesium sulfate, but they just call it like mag. So that was kind of, that's the part that really sucks about being in the hospital, was I had to have an IV all the time just to give me whatever I needed, medicine, fluids, and I just have like really, I don't know, small veins, so they had to poke me a lot of times, and literally my arms were bruised up from the IVs. Back to the story, I was put in the delivery room and they had to push magnesium into my IV, and the nurse told me that it was gonna really hurt, that this drug is like gonna make you feel like you have the flu, because they're gonna be rushing it in and you're gonna feel really sick. So I was like, okay, just do it. And I did. Like, my body just started heating up, and then I was just super dizzy. I remember they brought in a fan to put on me because I was complaining that like it was just too hot and I couldn't like handle it. The doctor came in and was just trying to calm me down, telling me just the risks and everything of my daughter being born so early, and that what would happen like the moment I give birth, what they're gonna do with baby and everything. And I was just kind of prepared. I mean, throughout the whole thing I was just really compliant because I really just wanted everything to go well, whatever's best for baby. I wasn't picky about anything. I just wanted like what could be done for her to be done. So they pushed the magnesium and then they switched it to a slower drip after that, and oh my god, it was just the worst feeling. My arm was burning to where I was just crying. The contractions just came really, really fast. And I remember them just being like minutes apart, and just, oh my god, just radiating pain in my back. And they said, turn on your side. One nurse put pillow behind my back, and then she had like the heating pads for my back, because I was in, well, to me, like that was like the first time I've ever felt that kind of pain, and oh my gosh, it really hurt. And all I wanted to do was just like stand up and go to the bathroom, but they're like, no, no, you can't do that. You need to stay here and just go through the pain. And oh my gosh, to me it hurt. And then I complained to them that no one has checked on me in a while to see like where I'm at, because my contractions are like one on top of the other. And so a doctor came and checked, and I was dilated like 9 centimeters already. And I'm like, what? Like, no. I was like going through this, like, oh my god, we're 9 centimeters, and they said in the next 10 minutes you're probably going to be pushing. I'm like, oh no. Honestly, I got the epidural, because I'm like, well, yeah, if you can make this easier for me, then yeah, let's do the epidural. They actually gave me some narcotics to take the edge off, and it didn't work for me. So I asked for the epidural. The anesthesiologist came in, tried to do it as fast as she could before I had to start pushing. So the epidural really wasn't that bad. It was just a lot of pressure. You just have to keep still. And honestly, I was just in a lot of pain to where I didn't really care. I just wanted the epidural. Yeah, then they're like, hey, it's time to push. And the hospital that I was at is like a teaching hospital. So they asked if they can have, like, I guess students come in to just like observe. And they said, like, when you're ready to push, there's gonna be like 8 people coming in. I'm like, that's fine, like, I don't really mind, like, just, I don't really care. So when it came time to push, it was kind of just so fast. They just said, like, hold your legs and push, and I didn't even take any classes because I didn't have time. I thought I had more time, so I didn't even know how to push. And they're telling me, no, 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 sweetie, like, you have to hold your breath and like put your chin down and do like one long push. I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, I don't know how to push. I took 2 pushes and she was out, and I didn't really feel her come out because of the epidural, but I guess everything went fine. When she came out, it was like the first thing I wanted to hear was her cry, because they said that's just the first thing you really want to hear. And all I remember is them taking the little sucker and I guess just sucking some fluid out, and then she cried, so that was great. I didn't see her right away. They put her, you know, they were just checking everything with her, and then they had her wrapped up. I swear she was just like this tiny. They had her wrapped up like this, and they just put her next to me just to give her a kiss, and then they had to take her immediately to the NICU. So I expected, you know, not being able to hold my baby right away. And honestly, through all that trauma that I just had, I was like, okay, my baby's out. Just make sure, just take care of her. Yeah, I had given birth at 3 in the morning. I think my contractions started at like 7 p.m. But active labor wasn't that long. I went to go see her in the NICU, and it's crazy. I mean, I can't really describe it, like, seeing her in there, because she was so tiny. And to think like that was her, that was like, I just given birth to her, like she was the one who they were talking all about and how small she's gonna be. And like, it was just crazy just seeing her in there, just like, I guess just being out, like out of you, like she's not attached to you anymore. It's just weird to see. Like, I was just in shock. Like, she's so tiny. She was born 2 pounds 13 ounces, so she was small. She was in the incubator, the little isolette in the NICU. And yeah, I mean, the first thing that I did was just, they're like, you want to touch her, you can hold her, you can do skin to skin and all of that stuff. And just having a baby in the NICU is just something that only moms who have experienced it can really know how it is. I mean, it's really tough. We were in there for about a month, I was still in the hospital for about, I think, just 2 more days after that. So everything went well. I healed very well, and I really didn't have that much like recovering to do, thankfully. So right away I was like on my feet and going to visit her. The next day they just taught me how to like pump milk and everything, because I wouldn't be able to breastfeed her right away. So just going through all that, it was just like a big learning process, learning like all these things of how I need to properly take care of her, and the isolate, the procedures to keep her healthy, making sure everything is sanitized. And I stayed there with her. I really wanted to learn everything about how I would bathe her, change her diaper, check her temperature, her weight, tracking how much she eats, how much she gains. And yeah, just every day was just praying for her to gain weight. And luckily, and thank God, she didn't need any assistance in breathing. She was very, very strong. I kept seeing other women going home with their babies all the time, like down by the lobby, and I was just like, when is that going to be me? When am I going to take my baby home? You just don't know, because they can estimate a time, but you never know. And we actually went home a month earlier than expected, so I was really happy about that. Just the wait to go home is just everything. I mean, every day I'm like, when do you think are we gonna go home? And then when they actually discharge you, it happens really fast. But it was really hard, but I got through it, and the nurses were really helpful there too. When your baby is constantly on a monitor, it is really, really hard, because every single like alarm that goes off is just, it makes your heart stop. I'm always like, wait, what's going on? Or like, why is her oxygen low? Yeah, it was just so good to be away from all the monitors and the alarms and everything, because that's all you hear in the NICU. That's really all you hear. And yeah, so now she's a year old. She's still a little tiny for being a preemie, so she's 2 months premature. So adjusted age, she would probably be like 10 months. So yeah, that's what they call it. Gestational age or adjusted age. But she is learning so well, and honestly her development is right on track. It's just her size, which is fine. And yeah, that's pretty much my birth story. I don't think I left anything out, but yeah, it's crazy to look back and think that that all happened about a year ago. It did happen around Christmas and New Year's. So Christmas and New Year's I was in the NICU with her. So yeah, it's really nice to be spending, or to be able to spend the holidays this past year, you know, December, with her, and get to actually experience all of that with her is amazing. So yeah, I feel truly blessed. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any other questions, just let me know. I'll reply to it in the comment box. And you guys can also follow me on like Instagram and my Facebook for more updates. Okay, so I'll see you guys in my next video. Love you guys. Bye.